She is also phenomenal. Again, if I introduce her as storyteller, you know that she's interested in training, facilitation. She's an SPC as well. But recently, while Jyoti is the only past ambassador of Australia, Ipshita has recently completed a practitioner as well. So Ipshita, really looking forward to hearing from you. And we have a special guest. Peter Stevens is also here with us. He's the founder of PAS. So we are really, really honored to have you, Peter, with us. And hopefully, we'll get a snippet of your wisdom in this next 1 hour with us. With that, over to you, Jyoti and Ipshita.
Thank you. Hey, and is everybody okay if we do recording of this session? Yep. Thank you. Hey, Andre. Hope I'm saying your name right. Where are you joining us from?
Hi, I just joined. So, actually, I'm just interested in agile topics in Australia. So I tried to find as much more meetups from Australia as I can, as I could. I'm an agile coach. I'm from Russia. Hi, I work in the largest bank in Russia as an agile coach. I'm trying to make our business flexible and adaptive, better to say. Also, I am an organizational psychologist, so teamwork and leadership, things like this stuff is my profession. So I could say that I'm some kind of expert in motivation and group dynamics. So could share my experience and some science stuff I learned, and
Amazing.
that's it. Hmm?
That's very impressive, actually.
Hope so.
All right. Well, I welcome all of you guys. Hey, Richard. It's been a long time since I did a meetup on my own, so I'm so glad IPSITA is suffering with me and I'm not alone over here. But what I'm going to do is we're going to present a little bit, but we have activities. We also have founder of the system, Peter, here. So it'll be almost illegal if we don't ask him to speak. So I'm going to make that new rule. Peter comes, Peter speaks. So let me just get started very quickly. And Vijesh and Shakti, I'm going to leave it for you guys to man the door because quite a lot of people are still waiting. All right. Can you guys see my screen? Yes, no, maybe?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is when I do this, then I can't see you guys. Oh, okay. Dual screen works. All right. So we at Team Incremental are presenting Personal Agility System, which is founded by Peter Stevens. And we're going to talk about priorities MAP specifically in today's session. So in Incremental, the team over here, there are a lot of people from Incremental here who believe in cultivating growth mindset. We are coaches, we are delivery professionals with actual hands-on experience. Most of us are working in financial institutes, so you will see us talking quite a lot about finances. I'm just giving you a little doorway peek into personal agility system, which is do more what matters. Have you guys heard of personal agility before? No? First timers?
No.
Okay, good. Makes my life easier. um, Here is an interesting quote. Hopefully everybody has heard of Jim Carrey, knows who Jim Carrey is. He's one of my favorite actor. And he says, I wish everyone could experience being rich and famous. Why not? So they did see it wasn't the answer to anything. Marcus and I had shared this joke some time back that we are not rich, but we have some other attributes. Marcus, you for sure. I'm still figuring out what I have other than richness and looks. So the whole idea is that money isn't an answer to everything. There are more things in life that matters to us. With that, I'm going to go into what really matters. So Agile, which hopefully all of us talk about, usually helps you to achieve goals. That's how it is sold as, that agility is an answer to reaching your destination, to reaching your goal. Whereas when we start talking about personal agility, it goes deeper into finding happiness, meaning, and fulfillment in life. I'm going to talk a little bit about my story later over here, but this is exactly what I have experienced with personal agility. I have gone from fear of missing out to actually being satisfied with what I have. I've gone to the theory of abundance, the mindset of abundance. So this has transformed my life, and this is where it goes. What really matters, but what does happiness mean for you? What is the meaning of your life, and what will satisfy you by doing? Also, it says do more of what really matters, not everything. So presenters for today, I have my lovely co-presenter IPSITA, who I had a very good blessing of working together, and now we are working again at National Australia Bank a little bit. IPSITA, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, Jyoti, thank you. And I'm really excited that I'm here today. And thanks, Jyoti, for pulling me in. And I know that like Jyoti always inspires and she's the source of energy, I would say. Even if I try to do many things, she knows personally that I sometimes step back, but it's always lovely to work with her. Um, I think Sakti already mentioned a bit about me, and quickly, just I'm working at the National Australia Bank as an Agile coach. I'm a consultant from Capgemini, and with personal agility, last year I started my journey when I didn't knew even about the personal agility system and Peter. I was just wondering that how I can get benefit of agile, lean, and all of that. That as a coach, what all we implement at work, and we see there is value. Then I was wondering why not apply some of that and create some value in personal life as well. And I started to experiment few things, and then luckily I discovered this personal agility system. I knew that Jyoti is already into the journey. Then I met Peter. I did my workshop with him, and I was so blessed that I directly hear and learn from Peter many things about the personal agility system as a whole. And for today, just to start with, probably I would just show you a bit about Jyoti. If you can switch to the next slide, please. Do we have the what really
Neural link.
matters? Yeah. So before we get
Yep.
into what really matters, we will probably start with the mirror link where we would like to know a bit about yourself as well. That what are the things that you want to achieve in your life? What is your primary goal? And what is stopping you from achieving that? So if you have the link on the chart, let's just take 2-3 minutes. And if everyone can just take a minute, write whatever is on top of your head, that what you want to do and what is stopping you from achieving that. So let's head to Mural.
Is everybody able to access the link okay? Yep.
Let me try as well.
It's asking me to open in MAP-JYOTI instead of through a web page. I'm on an iPad.
Ooh. Do you want me to send you the link again?
Yeah, can you just in case? Because it's just it's trying to take me straight to App Store.
Shouldn't do that.
Instead of browser. I'll have another crack.
Sure. Hey, Dad.
Yes.
My dad just joined. And my one thing that really matters in my life is making my dad proud. So I'm waiting for him to say, you did really good this time.
That's lovely.
Hey, June, finally can see you.
Yeah. I'm also clicking on the link, Jody. I think for some reason it just brings me onto.
Can you take that link and put it in Chrome? Maybe don't use it in IE. IE has a problem.
Yeah, I'm going to try that.
Olivia, you're facing the same problem. It's opening an app. I can do one thing for you, Olivia. If you want to type out what is a goal you've always wanted to achieve, I can type it out for
Sure.
you.
No worries. Thank you.
No worries.
And Jyoti, I can see so many lovely input there already for
I
the goal.
know. Kate, do you want to do the same thing? Same in Chrome? Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm having trouble with it too.
So Kate, if you give me answer to that, I'll put it on your behalf.
Yeah.
Oh, Sunita, thank you so much. I'll type it on your behalf.
Thank you.
Let's take just one more minute, Jyoti.
Yep.
Then, yeah.
Hey, Peter, are you able to see these notes?
Peter, you're on
Yes,
mute.
I am.
Yeah. Jyoti, all good?
I think so. I still see people typing though.
Yeah.
For
What do
those
you
of
want
us
to do?
who are having problems, is it possible for one of you to share the screen so that we can see what's being typed as well?
That
Thank
was the
you.
plan. I can do that for sure. I'm just typing for everyone. Oh, June, I can definitely help you with that one.
Yes, thank you.
Love it. Do you want to share your screen, Ipsita? Oh, actually, you know what? I'll do it. I'll do it.
The share option, yeah, if you can.
Yeah, I'll do that. I was just typing on people's behalf, but I think I'll do it. And if you guys hear the lovely sound in the background, that's my little one.
Ah.
All right, can you guys see the mural board?
Yes, Jyoti. Yep.
And it disappeared. Here you go. Can you guys see it?
Yep. Yes.
So do we see some kind of theme over here, Ipsita?
I think these are very interesting ones, and I appreciate that everyone looks like have put their real goal and what is stopping them. And in terms of theme, I think it is more family oriented. No, Jyoti, what do you think?
No,
I see
everybody
few.
feels is trying to do their best. Everybody is trying to. It's either a dream house. Oh, that sounds like my husband. I love somebody has a goal as go endpoint in ballet. Oh,
I love
it.
that
I
violin.
was going to ask, who's the ballet dancer?
Oh, guess.
Ah, Susie, had to be you. Oh man, this made my day. Learning the violin, becoming an expert in experiential learning. Ooh, why does that sound like Andre? Starting my own business, yes. So a lot of those are something that we would aspire as our life's goal. And then look at the impediment side of Ipsita.
Yep. The most the one that I can relate to is like that self-doubt. Sometimes we get into that. And also the first one, too much on my plate. And that's what was actually happening with me, doing a lot, too much, but still not happy. Somewhere I was losing that, okay, what else then I want to do as the priority?
Amazing. All right. How about we go back to our slides? What do you think?
Yep, sure. Yep.
All right. Can you guys see the slides?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. 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 So a little bit on my personal agility story. As I mentioned that last year, I was just trying to experiment with the values and principle that we usually apply at work for lean agile and to create some value in the personal space as well. That's where it took me 6 months. Like in the first month, I was mostly struggling to break my habit and create new habit. And once I somehow managed to change few things, I was happy. And then I got into the next phase. What's next? What I'm trying to achieve. And somehow after 3 or 4 months, I see that I can change few things. And I was into a journey, but I was still not sure what really matters to me. If I tell you in a day, every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I manage that and try to do so many multitasking. And I was thinking I'm achieving a lot because I'm doing in number, maybe 20 or 30 things off my list that I'm able to do. But still, at the end of the day, I was not getting that sense of satisfaction and happiness. Then I got this personal agility system and I started to read on the website and I got to know Peter. And I was so curious to discover that what extra is there, like what new. If it is agility, maybe okay, I know well what is there. But when it comes to personal agility, what new is there into this framework or the coaching framework that Peter has created? Once I got into those workshop, and then I started to link all the work that I was doing and to discover what really matters to me. Jyoti, if you can flip to the next slide, please. Yeah, so this is actually from my personal agility board that I use every day, every moment. On the left one, I just tried to show you that what was the thing happening earlier in my life and why I was looking for something that will help me be more effective, create more impact at work, and be happy. And what I came up at the end is what really matters. So this is my actual 5 things that I every day work towards. The financial diligence. It might sound something that okay everyone does, but personally sometimes I lose focus on this. I don't focus enough that what how stable I would be after 10 years. And while I'm trying to find out what really matters, initially started with family and my professional commitment that usually run top of my head always. Then slowly I discovered that no, the financial diligence and my health and well-being probably are more on priority than the other two. So this is my list that I came up and this is what I practice every day. With this, probably I would hand over back to Jyoti. Jyoti, if you can share with us your personal agility story.
People will get bored with that. Somebody, are you guys able to see this yellow line thing, or it's just my computer? It's
It
just come
is,
up.
it's, I can see as well. And Jyoti, I think it happens on the mobile screen in case anyone tried to drag and
I
drop.
was
It
trying to
just, yeah.
scratch my screen.
It will not remove. It's like whoever has maybe by mistake, they just put, they can only remove it.
All right. Okay. Sorry, Johanita, is that you?
No, this is Kokil here.
Hey, Kokil.
Sorry, just I by mistake created that line and I'm having trouble removing it because I was trying to enlarge the screen. Apologies.
No stress. I'm pretty sure if you go to annotate, there's an eraser button, so you could do that. Hey, Dave. All right. So, what about my story, right? Just don't make it worse.
Better?
Yep. This is me. I'm actually very happy and proud that this slide was created for me by Maria, who's the co-founder of Personal Agility. So I'm very thankful because this slide looks so full of color, and that's how my life is. It's full of everything happening all the time. Was a DJ. I have given up. Was an RJ growing up. I was going to write a book 2 years ago. Was writing something of it. Very few people know that I have a diploma in fiction writing, and I do write stuff in between. So it is a lot of things that I like to do a lot of times. I used to be a food taster a long time ago. I'm in IT now for past 18 years. I was a teacher in sales, quite a lot of different stuff I've done before I got into IT. Have two beautiful kids, as you can see, a fun-loving and supportive husband, and lots of traveling that I like to do. So full on life, right? So what gets in my life? Work gets in my life. Everything gets in my life. I feel like I have such a large life, such a full life, and yet there is something missing. Some time back I was reading, there is a movie called Scottish Cycleman or Scottish Bicycleman, something like that. It is about a Scottish guy who wins the race, similar to Olympics that is over there, and he wins it. He wins every race, and yet he cries. He just cannot deal with the happiness. He just cannot deal with the victory. And his friend gets concerned, and he tries to reach out to him, and he's crying. And the wife says, "No, leave him alone. That's his natural process. That's how he adjusts to his victories or to the overwhelming feelings that he has. So leave him alone." But when he's crying in that movie, um, it just moves you because you just won the title, man. You just won the big trophy, and you're crying your heart out all alone. He goes, hides, and cries. That's how he dealt with it, and that's how I felt. Like every time I achieved something, I felt like that. I didn't feel like a sense of pride or accomplishment, but I felt like hiding and crying because it just felt like my goal is over. Now what? It wasn't making sense to me, just wasn't. So yes, went to a lot of mental doctors. I was thinking I've got a crack in my brain or something, something is missing. So then a friend of mine, very dear friend of mine who can't join us today, Manisha, she forced me to go to this personal agility journey, and she said we have to find out what is it that we are looking for, because she could relate to me on many instances. And she said let's go to this journey, and we went to Peter, we went to Janani, and we joined this class. And what I realized is instead of scaling up, I started scaling back. I started saying, I have to do this, but not right now. It has to go back to my possibilities row or column, because I was always trying to do 5 things at a time. It just became, I couldn't be my best. And even though I was trying very hard, I was killing myself in the process. I was always thinking that I'm leaving out something. So that helped me move out. That helped me scale back and say, I will not do it right now, but I will do it. And that process actually eventually made me very, very happy and satisfied, because I still see the card. I mean, you guys can see, I don't know if you guys can make out, there are red, yellow, and there are purple cards. So red is my husband's, yellow is mine, and purple is my boys. So we as a family are using all of this right now, because it got me aligned with my family. I was trying to do things on my own, but now my family is in my journey. So life is way more satisfying. What I do at work, what I do personally has a meaning to it now. Like I said, I can bore you guys to death. So that's me. That's my youngest 13-month-old, who's, I'm pretty sure, going to be something in engineering because he loves computers. So we did this exercise, and I found out what really matters to me. Number one was family, for sure. I think I started getting overwhelmed because I had a new baby. I just felt directionless, and I was like, oh no, 12 years later, a new baby, now what? So it just made me pause. It made me hit that pause button in my life and say, what really matters? And family was that one thing that mattered. Mental health mattered quite a lot for me. At the age that I am, at the pace that I've been working, right now, it's okay for me to say, are you okay? It's okay for me to check in saying, guys, we have to pause and breathe and see, are we okay? It's okay to say, no, I don't think so. I'll get to it today. I'll probably do it tomorrow. So I've started scaling back quite a bit. Financial independence, very, very important to me. I would love to do things that I do only when I know that my kids are taken care of. If I can't pay their school fees, if I can't pay their childcare fees, then I'll have to go back to work, which is not why I want to work. So that is an important factor in my life. Community building. I didn't realize this until last year, actually, when we started doing these meetups. These meetups are free, most of them are, and we get great engagement and people. So you can see we have international audience over here. You guys have given 1 hour, sometimes even more of your time, just to talk to each other, to listen, just to exchange notes, right? And I loved it. There are my really beautiful girlfriends on the call, Harshita, Ruma, Kokil, whom I've only met through networking, and beautiful, amazing, passionate ladies. I would have never met them physically otherwise. Zoom has made it possible, and I love building community. So that just comes naturally, and it's become really that matters to me. So that was my WRM. I feel like Peter wants to add something over there, so I'm pausing. Nope. You're on mute.
Mute, Peter.
Okay. Zoom is being cooperative is everything. I'm just listening to these stories and I'm saying like, wow, this is so totally clear. I was thinking about my own what really matters journey. And, you know, the first time someone mentioned those words to me, that it was phrased slightly differently. It was, you know, what are your navigation stars? You know, what do you use to orient yourself in life? And I just had no idea what those questions meant, you know, how to answer the question. And I left the column blank. I created the column in my what I now call the priorities map, and just left it blank and let the question work on me. And 2 months later, I had kind of this, wow, yes, now I see where I want to go, or at least I see what's important to me. And you know, that's what I oriented myself on for a period of time. And it was theoretically about, well, family health and happiness. Then I had running my business. Then I had my side gig, and then there was this personal agility that was kind of on the radar screen. And you know, as time went on, the personal agility kind of went a notch up. And I remember this really, there was this really huge moment when I decided that personal agility was more important than my previous side gig, and I was going to let that side gig go and stop working on it. And that was when I explained that to my wife. And I was like, God, you could feel the earth moving under your feet. It was a really amazing thing. And, you know, so for me, and I've had, in 5 years of doing this, I've changed my what really matters column maybe 4 times. And each one is kind of the result of now I see what's important. Okay. And so, and you know, what's really, I think for me, what's most satisfying and most amazing is to see other people making these, you know, the same voyage and having these same aha moments. So, you know, my congratulations both to you, Jyoti, and to IPSITA for, you know, wow, congratulations. I'm just so happy for you.
Thank
So
you.
back to you, Jyoti.
It was thanks to you and Maria for coming up with this. So what's the secret sauce? How did we come to this? What did we apply? Like what lens did we put over? What's the magic saying, this is my WRM? Are you guys ready for that? So we're going to take you on a little bit of a exercise activity. We're going to show you a couple of personas. Here is Justin. Meet Justin. He's a project manager at Zyro Corporation in Queensland. He is an extrovert, eternal optimist, has beautiful wife Kate and 2 kids, Alex and Heidi. Among other things, work, he is very passionate about taking care of his wife, who is a healthcare expert, a healthcare worker. So 2020 has been hard on Justin. The lockdown did give him an opportunity to work from home, but he's unsure of what really matters to him now at 2021. I'm going to hand it over to IPSITA, who will run you through the second persona. And after that, we will divide you guys and put you in 2 breakout rooms where my lovely friend Susie, IPSITA, and I will help you figure out what really matters for these 2 personas. IPSITA, here you go.
Yes. So meet the next persona, Ella. She's a teacher. She teaches physics at the St. Paul Secondary School in Surrey Hills. And she leads a very simple life with her family of 3, her husband, Victor, and the 5-year-old son, John. And she's very passionate about her work, and she's actually liked by the students as well. And she often struggles to strike a balance of her work life and the demand at home. And while satisfying everyone's expectations from her, she falls short to keep herself happy. And she's very bright, but a bit of introvert. And in her journey of self-discovery, she is trying to figure out what really matters to her in her life. So let's see that we will head to the board where we see a bit of how these 2 persona are trying to figure out their possibilities. And we as a group will try to help understand that what might be their WRM, what matters to them. Jyoti, are we getting into the board now?
Yes. We're going to do a 10-minute timer.
Yep.
And here you go. See you guys in 10 minutes.
Ipshita made you a co-host right now. If you want to join the room, I will put you in the.
Sorry, Sakti. Yeah, I'm going into the room too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, Marcus. Everything okay?
I've joined the main session. Are you? Do you need to put me back in the breakout room?
Yes. Let me see. Marcus. Room 1. Yep.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thanks, Susie, for running that too, by the way.
Oh, pleasure. Really, really nice to see people, and would have loved to have talked longer as well.
Thank you, Susie.
Next
Thank
time.
you.
Hey, Jyoti.
Susie, you got to come to our 2-day class and run it. How about that?
Oh, steady, run it. Do you, well, actually, though, I think I have got the dates in because it's in February, isn't it?
No, it's this weekend, Saturday,
Was this
Sunday.
do you know what? I do think I actually have got it in my calendar because I think you mentioned it.
Yes, I can send you the Zoom links.
Well, I would be delighted if you would have me for the bits that I can dial in for. I would be delighted
Absolutely.
to.
Just don't know what time it'll be for you, but would love to have you there.
Oh, thank you so much. Right, I'll look out for that.
No worries. Hey, IPSITA, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I think we were running out of time a bit. So I would just cover, Jyoti, that we were looking at the board and possibilities.
Do you want to share your board so everybody
sure.
can see it?
Sure. Let me know if you all can see. So we were discussing about Ella's current priorities, and how she will probably move her priority to put that, okay, what she wants to do this week and what is something that is necessary today, and that could be something very urgent as well. So Jyoti, we just spent few minutes only doing this, but to conclude this, the purpose of doing this possibilities and mapping it to discover that what really matters to the person. We looked at last year's breadcrumb trail as well, which tells us that where the person is actually putting their effort and energy, but this may be a bit different than what really they want to do. And while they will try to prioritize all their possibilities, they will discover what really matters to them. So Jyoti, probably I would hand this over to you before I explain what this color code means. We'll look at your board and then we'll get back to this.
Thank you. Anyone from our team wants to take a stab at it? I feel like I've done enough talking for today. Go on. No? Am I volunteering
Would you
somewhere?
would you like me to try and summarize, and maybe it'll prompt somebody?
Go for it.
Okay. Yeah, so we had a really interesting discussion. Somebody made the point about grocery shopping lists for the week being urgent because he's got children and they need to eat, right? And then also, interestingly, even though there was that recognition that Justin wants to make that transition, he's got particular drivers with the family, that actually it was felt that the project plan for financial year 21 was still urgent because it kind of tapped into almost kind of what he was comfortable with and what he felt was important work-wise. So we were talking about that being a journey, you know, to make that transition through the personal agility system. And then we were saying to explore the grocery ordering online today, in order to, you know, have that as a priority in his mind to provide for the children. What have I missed, team? I know that we sort of ran out of time, but anything else particularly you want to highlight?
Oh, they all had fabulous points. What happened now?
I hope I've not misrepresented your rationale anyway, but there was some really good logical thinking, you know, for why people were feeling that it should go in the urgent column as opposed to the today column.
June, did I cut you in?
No, all good. I think, I think Susie summarized it really well. So essentially, Justin, you know, family person, and, you know, based on his information, what really matters to him, it's obviously really sounding out that the family side is really important to him. There was something that was picked up that was quite interesting, particularly more around, you know, his strive to meet deadlines. So he's obviously a very driven person. Timing, planning is important in terms of meeting deadline, and 2020 would have been a year where it would have, you know, things would have been very different for him in terms of, you know, meeting deadlines because of all the uncertainty 2020 brings. So we did sort of said, look, project plan is probably something that is going to be quite urgent for him to look through for 21 because of his personality. And then there was a point around his social interaction as well, because he is quite an extrovert. But then with everything that's going on with him, which is around family and planning and work, it doesn't sound like he has a lot of chance to really socialize as well, which should be important to him. So it'll be really interesting. You know, we've only touched probably the surface of this board, but it'll be interesting as we go through even more of the possibilities. We can actually work through a little bit more and deep dive into the personal, you know, agility system for Justin.
Yeah. Thank you. It's beautiful. So Justin sounds so much like me, right? Just my male version. But
I was thinking, Jyoti, it is you, but with the name Justin instead.
Justin.
The grocery sorted, Jyoti.
Even Jay is common. Even the two kids are common. Like, to the end, right? In case you didn't catch in Australia, so my son's school starts this Friday, and ordering uniform was like my number one priority. It's there. But something that June said, we've only scratched the surface. This personal agility is way more than this. This is just one element of it as to how you figure out what really matters. And this goes on when we do our two-day program. This goes on heavily for a few hours. And there's alignment compass, there's forces map, there's a lot of fun stuff behind this, which brings us to what really matters, because we oversimplified this for the sake of this activity. So you guys were able to do this. One thing that we all should thank Peter for is he's literally done that paid forward, which is a big value for me, is he's made this Trello board free of cost, easily accessible. All of you can access it. Peter, I don't know if you have the link handy, if you want to put it in chat. You guys can download that, make a copy of it, make your own personal agility board. That's, you know, now you know how to use it. You can start putting your possibilities. You can put what really matters for you. You can start putting how you finishing the stuff. So breadcrumb over here makes you realize, because that's how it has made me realize. I'll just show you guys my breadcrumb, right? Can you guys see that?
Oh, yep.
That's my breadcrumb for a month. And that's what made me realize what really matters to me. And that's how it'll matter to you when you see it changing over time, when you see it evolving from your kids to maybe your personal passion, to maybe work, to maybe financial independence, maybe networking. Whatever you see is happening a lot. The things that you're getting done is things that you're more passionate and drawn towards. And that becomes your what really matters. What do you think, Peter? Did I summarize it well?
I think this is awesome. I just put the link into the chat for the template for the past priorities map. And so you open that up in Trello, and somewhere there's a fairly obvious option to copy the board for your own use. And then it's basically a step-by-step instruction on how to get started. Just start with the today column and work your way forward.
So that's a free gift for everyone. Please utilize that. I have utilized it before I started going to the training. This is what really matters. So Maria, who's a co-founder with Peter, she and I were having these deep, intense talks, and we were thinking of what really matters to people. On an average, at high level, these are the top 3 things that matters to people. It's either family or health and well-being or work-life balance. On purpose, I left financials out. On purpose, I left quite a lot of things because I hope everybody agrees that you would probably have one of these 3, if not all 3, in your top 3. Yep.
Yep. Yes.
So there's a saying that, and I think all the Agile coaches on the call would agree, if you have more than 3 priorities, then the whole meaning of priority is diluted. You should always be looking at your top 3. And this is what top 3 looks like for me, at least right now in my life. You could have your own top 3. With that, I'm going to hand over to IPSITA. IPSITA, do you want to cover this?
Sure, Jyoti. while looking at those top 3 priorities, I know that when we try to figure out what really matters to us, something that I don't want to miss out on is what makes me happy. So I don't miss that in my list. There might be things that are not of any category, but that's simply things that makes you happy. So never miss on those. Do that. Yeah, let's move to the next one, Jyoti. Yeah. And as Jyoti mentioned, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot in the system to learn in the personal agility system. We just try to represent in this single slide that what the journey looks like once you get into adapting the personal agility system. First, like we have to be effective and trustworthy, whether it's in my personal life, the people, my friends that I interact every day. It could be a very like a childhood friend that I'm still talking to, or it could be someone, a colleague at work, anyone that I interact in my life. First thing that they might expect from me to be trustworthy, and that will happen only when I keep on my promises. And the personal agility system did help me actually to prioritize so that I stick to the commitment, I make that happen and win that trust. And the next phase was to be still effective and create that impact. And when we all have some goal and we know it better, that where we want to be more effective and create impact. So that also the next stage that we can achieve once we know what is our priority. And when it gets to the next stage where we are aware of ourselves and we get to help other people as well, that's where it comes that as an agile coach, we help people realize what really matters to them. And I wouldn't miss to give this credit to Jyoti, that Jyoti helped me a lot to realize my potential and what I can do as well. And I would say that she had been catalyst for many people as well. And finally, we all want to be leading at our own space, and we want to be effective as a leader. And we build alignment around everything, whether it's at work, building alignment, or if it is at home as well, just having that alignment of calendar. I struggle sometimes to check calendar that what my husband is doing today, who is going to prepare the lunch, who is getting into the kitchen. So everywhere it is alignment, that what makes us leader and lead better. So this is the journey that you will get into once you start personal agility system. Peter, Jyoti, if you want to add more to it.
I think for me, this summarizes well. I was talking to IPSITA about how personal agility, even though it says personal agility, but I've been using quite a bit in my professional context. I guess it becomes very clear when you start putting those lenses, even in work, when you have superheroes like Danny and June, which are slammed with 20 items, 20 tasks in a day, and then they go, no, 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 we're going to finish these first. So you have to have that prioritization mechanism. You have to have like, what is the value to customer that you'll deliver faster? And then there are more supportive toolkits when you go through the past program, like stakeholder canvases and alignment compass, which helps you go on that journey. So I totally support this, at least in my journey. A little bit about how do you become a recognized practitioner. I think the latest one off the cab is IPSITA and Susie. Do you guys want to talk about it?
Probably Susie can pick this up.
I can't see you, Susie. Where are you? Oh, there you are.
Oh,
Hi.
Yeah, so I was really just so thrilled with making the transition from being interested in personal agility to actually doing the call. And Peter's just put something in the chat, hasn't he? Yeah. So in terms of actually doing the courses, the idea to become a personal agility recognized practitioner is, you attend the course. There are supporting coaching calls with an ambassador. You need to demonstrate, once you've actually done the course, you need to be able to demonstrate that you've actually applied using that system that the training takes you through. And as Jyoti said, that you've dipped your toe in the water perhaps today in terms of understanding what really matters. So then the follow-up from attending the course and participating in the coaching calls is you show you've applied that consistently for a minimum of 4 weeks. You then go onto the Personal Agility Institute website and you fill out an application form. But what I would say as somebody that's been through the process is that if anything resonates with you from the session today, you know, it is a very well supported process. And it's a great community, isn't it? You know, there's lots of people around that, you know, will kind of be cheering you on, you know, if you decide to pursue that path. So yeah, as somebody who's been through that and then gone on to be an ambassador, like with Jyoti, you know, I can't recommend it enough. And I'm not even paid to say that this morning.
Here is a perfect place for Peter to tell his story of 3,000 thank yous.
Okay, well, for me, thank you for the opportunity. So for me, you know, I had a major rethinking of my own what really matters in 2020, thanks to the COVID crisis. And I had flown in January. You know, Maria and I were a bit challenged finishing our book. And I said, you know, I really want to get the book done. I want to move forward on this. And so I flew to Florida, and Maria and I worked on the book for a week. About 2 days before I left, Maria says, oh, by the way, there's this woman named Sharon who would like to invite you for dinner. I said, oh, that's interesting. Who's Sharon and why does she want to invite me to dinner? Well, Sharon was a coaching client of Maria's, who at the time that she met Maria was working in one of her 6 jobs was driving an Uber. And, you know, and she decided, the woman's name was Sharon. Sharon decided that Maria was going to help her, you know, not have to drive Ubers anymore. And so anyway, so the reason for the dinner is she wanted to thank me for personal agility. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. And so, you know, we had dinner and, you know, so there are actually, I guess, 4 of us there, my wife, Maria, Sharon, and myself. And, you know, so Sharon is kind of telling her story about how Maria helped her turn her life around with personal agility. And she went from struggling to have, you know, to maintain a minimum wage income to having a successful business and, you know, really made that turnaround in a year. And, you know, all of the things that make life difficult in America these days, she was struggling with, you know, dealing with toxic relationships, weight problems and things like that. And she was just so happy. Oh, she was a caterer, by the way. That was her, the business that she wanted to create was a caterer. And so she was just so happy for what personal agility did in her life that she said, you know, I want to thank you for it. And so she told us the whole story, you know, her whole story. And, you know, one of the things, if she had an unexpected $400 bill, that would be a disaster, you know, and she nearly lost a gig because she missed a car payment and lost her car. And, you know, a year later with personal agility, both emotionally and financially, she could handle it without, you know, kind of missing a beat. And, you know, so that was kind of the turnaround in her life that was possible. And that, you know, couldn't make a $400 bill. I did some research on that. And it turns out, you know, if the representative polls really are representative, just in the US, something like 100 million people are in exactly the same state as Sharon. Okay, 100 million people. And if we can touch even just 1% of them, that's 1 million people. If we can get them from, you know, struggling with 6 jobs to leading a comfortable middle-class life, you know, that would be a, you know, move the needle, you know, obvious and measurable improvement in the quality of life, not just for individuals, but for everyone around them. And probably the economists would even notice a change like that. So I did the math and, you know, 1 million people, everyone invites me for dinner, you know, to say thank you. That adds up to about 3,000 years of thank yous. Okay. Now I've been saying, well, if I had to do all that myself, I'd be old and fat long before I could claim all these dinners. But those dinners are out there to be claimed. Okay. And, you know, you hear how people are thanking each other. Now, I can't imagine that any of these ladies in our group would be anything other than young and beautiful. But, you know, imagine that you are the coach helping people turn their lives around. And that's really the potential for personal agility. And that's what my other background is about, which is about the ambassadors who are, you know, turning people's lives around. Okay, so, you know, if you're a coach, you know, that could be about business, that could be about work. But, you know, there's tremendous potential out there. So I'd like to, first of all, I want to really thank Jyoti for picking this up as the first in Australia and IPSITA for being close on her heels. You know, IPSITA is on final approach for being recognized as an ambassador. And, you know, this is what coaching can do for people with the right tools and the right focus. So anyway, so I'm really excited and I hope you'll get excited too. And with that, I'm going to say back to you, Jyoti.
Thank you. You have a personal thank you and dinner, lunch, and a stay available when you come down under in Melbourne. And you
I am
also
looking forward
have,
to it.
yes, the Star City. You also have that in Perth, isn't it, Marcus? That's where everybody's landing right now. Marcus, why don't you share your story?
Well, I think that related back to the cards on the board. So what was stopping me in 2020 was teaching my son how to surf because of where we lived in Sydney. So when it came to Christmas 2020, we decided to relocate to Perth, and now we live 5 minutes from the ocean. And I've taken my son surfing more days this year than I have done in 6 years.
And how old is he?
He's 6 years old. So yeah.
That must be super awesome for him. These are the other thing that Marcus shared with me was him and his beautiful wife, whom I'm welcoming so much over this weekend in the class, are using this system now to build a business together.
That's right. And the realization for us was every year when it came to December or January, we'd sit down and write a list of New Year's resolutions. And by November, we'd realize, oh, we put 200 things down and we probably achieved 20 of them. So by using this system and getting really focused on what really matters, and then setting up 1 hour per week as a couple where we review them, we've become far more focused in terms of working on things that do matter to us. So when JYOTI sent out this invitation for the meetup today, Sue brought up what matters to her, and kids was top of the list. And she said, well, I've got to say no to some things.
I love it. I love it. Hey guys, we're top of the hour. So I'm just going to leave with the next step, which is if you guys want to find out more, definitely drop a note to us at info@incrementallc.com. Shakti, do you want to put it in chat, please? And also, IPSITA has created an Australia group for personal agility where we chit chat, share our stories, talk about what else is going on in the world. And you're so free to join that. It's a LinkedIn group. So IPSITA, if you want to put that in chat, that's as well. If you guys don't mind spending 2 more minutes, I just have one last thing that I wanted to do so far. Well, 2 last things. One was definitely take a picture. Oh my God, did you just do that in the session?
Yes. So work in
You're
progress.
amazing, mate.
Show that again. I missed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that's what I call a skill.
Awesome.
I wish I had that.
So Marcus, awesome story. I'm so happy for you. And I really want to see that picture on LinkedIn so I can celebrate it.
It's going to follow this call.
Oh, thank you so much, Marcus. Hey guys, there's the other mural link, and I definitely want to take a picture before you guys go. Peter, do you have your beautiful camera? The picture one.
What do you mean?
The one which you use to take a picture in the classes?
I just do a screenshot of the.
Oh, okay, I can do that.
That's how I would do it. Give me 1 second to get the right background though.
I'm trying as well.
That's what I thought.
This picture, by the way, JYOTI made us a global organization. Okay, because up until now we were international, but JYOTI pushed the time zone all the way into tomorrow. Okay, and so this was, I think JYOTI was really the inspiration for this. So this is the network of recognized ambassadors. It's already outdated because we picked up about 5 since Maria made this. Anyway, so I want to thank you, JYOTI, for making us international. You have challenged us immensely because all of a sudden things that used to work didn't work anymore, and we had to come up with new solutions. But I'm really glad to have you on board, and I'm really looking forward to my trip to Australia. Second half
Dad,
of this year,
do you hear that? Dad, do you hear Peter saying I did something good? He's off camera right now. Dad.
No. Yes, I could hear everything, whatever he said.
My dad is in India, so he's resting there. Kate, are you saying something?
No, everything you people have covered.
It's recorded, so you can play it back to your dad all the time.
Good point. Totally forgot about that. We should probably stop recording.